Time management. How are you at managing your time? When someone comes to you and says, hey, let's do something really exciting, let's add this to your calendar, you're like, I don't have the time. I've heard that so often. I've heard men say, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to spend with my kids. I don't have the time to just walk the dog with my spouse. I don't have time to take control of my health. I don't have time to get more sleep. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to create time. I don't have time to plan a week. So I've heard all these things. And so today I'm coming to you on this solo episode to let you know that time management is something that I struggled with for years. And last year it came to a head when I had to go on a medical leave, a stress leave, because I was unable to manage my time. I don't want that to happen to you. So on this episode of the Dad's Making Difference podcast, I want to share with you some of my biggest takeaways and tips for time management so that you can create more time in your week for what matters most. This episode of the Dad's Making Difference podcast starts right now. Hello, my friends. Welcome to this episode of the DMD podcast. I am here on a solo mission today. I thought it was time to do a solo episode after some conversations that I've had with men in our community. And those conversations have surrounded time management because dads are busy. I get it. Every single one of us is busy, but it never really stands out how busy we are until right now in the middle of summer, where we might be working, we're doing our 9 to 5, maybe we're digging into our business, maybe we have another passion project we're working on, but our kids are at home. Our kids are home on summer break. Maybe our spouse is on holiday vacation. And in the times where we actually take a holiday, we're so busy trying to do the things, do the stuff, hit the water park, hit the beach, hit the lake, hit the mountains, hit the bike ride, do whatever, that we're never really where our feet are. If you've listened to the past couple episodes, you know that one of my guests said, you need to be where your feet are, be present, be in that moment, be in control, and just have the ability to know that you can do this as a dad. Well, here we are now. It is the middle of summer. Guys are reaching out. They're like, Cam, I feel like a worse father now than I ever have because my kids are at home. I'm coming home from work. I'm exhausted. They want to play. They've been home all day. They're missing me. Man, I don't know what to do. I don't have enough time in my week. And so I want to talk today about time. I want to talk about time management. And I want to give you some actionable steps you can take right now to create more time in your schedule. Okay? Create more time in your schedule, in your week. Well, physically, we can't add another hour to any day. We all have 24 hours in a day. And I'm not going to cliche say we all have 24 hours in a day. What you do with it is up to you. No, okay, listen. Life is busy, man. We get up. We have responsibilities. We have people we need to take care of. We got money we got to earn. We got food we need to put on the table. Like, we need to take care of our responsibilities, but you need to take care of you as well. And so part of taking care of you is managing your time. All right, so I'm going to dive in because these are some of the things that I have found have worked not only for me in my life, which, guys, if you know me and you know me personally or we've connected, you know that time management is something I'm passionate about because I've struggled with this in my life. I went on a 3-month medical leave caused by stress because I wasn't implementing these things I'm about to share with you right now. And so through that journey, through that painful journey, a journey where I was embarrassed, a journey where I was afraid to leave my house so people wouldn't ask me why I wasn't at work, I learned time management skills. These are skills that I've picked some up over the last 7, 8 years, 10 years, 16 years as a professional, but really hit home last year when I realized that I had to do this or else. That or else being my health would deteriorate. Because mentally and physically, I couldn't keep up with everything that was demanding my attention because I didn't control my time. I don't want that to happen to you. So here are some controllable, actionable steps that you can take right now to create more time in your schedule. First is this. Now, some of these might sound like, okay, I know this, but I want to reiterate the importance of setting your clear priorities. Number one, you need to set clear priorities. Make a list of your most important work and family commitments and rank them in order of importance. It's easy. You can sit down, you can say, this is coming up in my next week, and put them in your calendar. They're your big rocks. Like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Craig Ballantyne's Perfect Week Formula, all these things, like put your most important task or your big rocks in first. These are your non-negotiables, the things that will not move. For us, for a long time, it's been family movie night. Like that's a non-negotiable. That goes in there. Daily workouts, that goes in there. Spiritual time in the morning. Like these are big rocks. These are things that are important for me, important for our family. So set your clear priorities. So if you need to hit pause and just write these out, what are my clear priorities? Then do this. Think about some of the things you're prioritizing right now. If you put in work in your top 3 right now, I want you to pause, scratch it out, because your work is work. I know some of us are really passionate about it, but the reason that we do it at the end of the day is we want to provide for our family. And hopefully we're doing something that we love and we're passionate about. We're making an impact, and that's all great, but it's work. And if you're prioritizing your work above your family, above your wife, above your kids, above your spirituality, above your faith, then you need to stop, scratch it out, and move it down the list. Okay. That's just my recommendation to you, speaking from a guy who prioritized his work and his business above his family for way too long. And it hit the fan, the proverbial fan, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Number 2 is you're going to start creating a schedule. So you're going to sit down and you are going to map out your week. Guys, I know this sounds like, oh, this is a chore, but this is so impactful. You're going to sit down on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday morning, sometime on your weekend, you're going to map out your week, and you're going to do this with your partner, because if you do this with your partner, there's no surprises. And if there's no surprises, there's no breaking communication. And if there's no breaking communication, well, the rest speaks for itself. We know that the relationship will be stronger, we'll be more disciplined, we'll have a happier household if we have open communication. Okay, so create your schedule. You're going to develop a daily or weekly schedule that includes both work and family commitments, and allocate time effectively to include personal time and self-care. And so do this in this order. Put your most important tasks in your calendar first. Okay, we've done that. Hey guys, I wanted to take a moment and talk about our community of DMD brothers in the DMD Mastermind. We are men who help each other to stay focused and intentional in our pursuits of personal, professional, physical, financial, emotional, and spiritual growth. We are a community of men who bring courage, wisdom, and transparency to unfiltered conversations that challenge us to be more impactful men, to be dads making a difference. We do this through our online and in-person events where men come together to speak into each other's lives and then turn around and do the deep work to create change in their families, in their businesses, and in the community around them. If you are wondering if this community might be right for you, you can find more information on the DMD Mastermind, and you can also book a call directly with me at dmdmastermind.com. Now, let's get back to our show. Next, you're going to place in your self-care habits. Do you go for a massage every other week? Every week? Man, every week, great. Every other week, awesome. If you're not going for a massage, man, you should take care of yourself. Go every 3 weeks or so. I'll put that in your calendar. Go to the gym, your workouts, a walk in the morning, a swim, whatever it might be. That time for you, that 30 minutes to 1 hour, if you can manage an hour, put that in, those self-care habits. Self-care habits can include meditation and prayer. Put those in your calendar first. So you got your most important tasks, then you got your self-care habits. And if you do that, then you will be looking at your calendar, prioritizing the things that make the biggest impact on how you perform professionally and perform as a dad. All right. Number 3, establish boundaries. Set designed or designated working hours. For some of us who are at home right now, working from home, if you work from home, you know, this is really tough. If your workplace is your home place, but otherwise, man, turn it off. Turn it off at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Put your phone down, put it in a drawer, turn off the email. Just set designated working hours. And remember, establishing boundaries, we're going to stick to those designated working hours. Here's for someone who's working from home, here's something that I used to do. And I think we all were at this point sometime in the last 3 years, is that I used to have my laptop and I'd work in my home office where I'm standing right now. I'd work in the kitchen, I'd work on the deck, I'd work all over the place with my laptop. But I found really worked for me because I really like these triggers, the idea of triggers, like going into some place and that triggers me to focus on something, is I just kept the work in the office. So find a dedicated workspace, a dedicated space in your home if you're working from home, and that's where you keep the work. And then commit to not checking work when you're outside of that space. All right. This one is hard for guys to do. It's hard for me to do, but I want to encourage you to delegate and share responsibilities. So often we feel like we have to do things on our own. We don't have to do things on our own. We can ask for help. We can hire it out. You can hire a house cleaner. You can hire somebody to wash your vehicle. You can hire somebody to cut the grass. You can do whatever you need to do to delegate and share responsibilities so that you can add time to your week to focus on the more important things. So if you have 1 hour of time on a Friday afternoon that all these other things are going on, you have a 1 hour window and you have the choice to play with your kids or go for a bike ride or take care of the lawn, cut the grass, do the things you need to do. What are you going to choose? Well, there's been a lot of times in my life I've chosen to cut the grass because, I got to get it done before the weekend or the rain is coming. Man, pay somebody to do that. Or just leave it, come back to it. It's going to be there when you get back, but prioritize your things and delegate and share responsibilities. Don't be afraid to ask for help, especially from our partners. There are things that I do around the house still that I'm challenged with that I just need to say, hey, can I ask for help for this? Kim, do you mind doing this? I know that she would love that responsibility. My kids, man, cleaning the house. We used to have a house cleaner. Now, a house cleaner will come once a month, do this deep clean, but my kids have stepped up, and without us berating them all the time, so you need to do this, they're good about it. They clean the rooms, they vacuum, they dust, they clean the bathrooms, they do these types of things. They have responsibilities, but we've shared those responsibilities. And we've done it as a family. We've modeled what it looks like to take care of our space. But sharing and delegating responsibilities helps you add time to your week. Develop routines. I think this speaks for itself. If we live in a life of routine, there's a little bit of predictability there and less surprises. We know life happens. But if you have a developed routine, you know that you are going to find some type of success in your week controlling your time. It's when you don't have a routine and you just wake up, and then the day comes to you, which sounds fantastic, you're just going to feel like you're never catching up. It just gets busy. Stuff happens. And that's when we feel like we have no time to take care of ourselves, no time to take care of others. All right. So develop routines. What does a routine look like? I can give you an example. I am a creature of habit, a creature of routine. I will get up at the same time every day. I get up at the same time every day. I follow the same morning routine. The same morning routine depends on which day of the week it is. I want to be clear on that. I don't do the same thing every single day. There are certain days I have certain routines, but that sticks week to week to week. My Saturday routine is different than my Thursday routine. If I'm on the weekend, I'm an early riser. Now, during the week, 4:30 a.m., 5 o'clock a.m., that depends. Am I getting a workout in or is it a rest day? If it's a rest day, it's 5. It's a workout, it's 4:30. I know this. I have a routine. I have a plan. I've sat down and planned this. If it's the weekend, I'm an early riser. I like to walk the dog first thing in the morning. So it's a 5 a.m. or a 5:30, depending on the weather. But we'll be honest here, joking aside, putting routines in and structured routines into your schedule is going to be a huge benefit to you in creating time and having more time for what matters most. Okay. There are a couple things here. If you're watching, you can see me looking down at some of the things I've written out. I want you to be flexible. So stay adaptable and open to change, because I am a creature of habit and I follow routines, and I feel best when I'm following a routine and I'm sticking to that routine and that plan. And if something little happens, man, I just get so like, I can feel it inside me. I get so worked up because, oh, I had this plan, I had this routine. So, as structured as we want to be, I have to challenge myself and I want to challenge you. Still be flexible. Man, this is tough. Like, I don't want to be a hypocrite in saying this, but because I'm working through this myself, is about being flexible, staying adaptable, and open to change because unexpected events and challenges may arise. I'm kind of smirking right now because we are just about to head on a holiday, a camping trip. I'm at home. I'm packing the trailer. My wife is working today, and everything's good. But man, one thing after another, after another, after another has come up today, which has made today quite the day. But here's what happened. I had a routine. I knew what I was going to do. I stuck to it. Now it's 2:00 in the afternoon. Everything's good. We're ready to rock. And I don't know why I got so worked up when little things were happening. Something broke. I had to run to the store multiple times. These little things just get me going. I need to be more flexible. And I want you to challenge yourself to be a little bit more flexible. So adjust your schedule as priorities. Sorry, your schedule or priorities as needed. Communicate openly. Maintain open communication with your partner, with your children, with your employer, with your family, because this will ensure everyone is on the same page and can work to support each other. There's nothing worse than somebody saying, oh, can you pick up the kids today? Like if Kim comes to me and goes, hey, Cam, I have an appointment. Can you pick up the kids today? And I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, I have a podcast interview at 3:00. She looks at me, it's like, well, why wasn't this on the calendar? Why didn't you tell me? I told you about my appointment on Sunday. That was 3 days ago. You never told me about this podcast interview. And then automatically there's this little bit of hostility about we need to be more clear in communication. So communicate openly. That's why I want to circle back and say, sit down and create a weekly plan with your partner. Okay. Include your kids in that. We are running to soccer, running to climbing, running to basketball. We're all over the place. So include your kids in that because they can see the schedule and then everybody's on the same page. Now, all these things, I'm just rambling here. I'm sorry about that, but I think this is all important. All these things, you need to practice self-compassion because we're all learning. We're all growing through this. Nobody's going to be perfect. So be kind to yourself and continue to learn and grow, as a parent, as a professional, as a husband. And remember that achieving a perfect balance between the things that are pulling you from your priorities and your priorities. So if work is pulling you from home, we hear about work-life balance. I would like to refer to it as a work-life counterbalance because sometimes there's things in your life that just need more attention. But if you can't counterbalance and be aware of what needs your attention, and you're never going to find ways to control your time. This is an ongoing process. So here's what you're going to do. I have way more tips. I've just flown through some of these things because I thought it was really timely today. I actually had another episode ready to go for next week. And I wanted to just jump on and do this one because I was just about losing it outside as one thing after another happened as I'm loading the trailer. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to get on. I need to share with the guys that I struggle with this, that I've struggled with this in the past. And here are some of the main things that have helped me take a breath, control my time, and add time into my week for what matters most. Spend time with my kids, going for a bike ride, getting to the gym, reading a book. Man, there is such power in reading. If you have learned anything from listening to a year's worth of That's Making Difference podcasts, I love to read. Like more than half of our guests have been authors of amazing books. Okay, I'm going to go through these ideas, these pointers, these tips that I've given you over the last couple minutes. Set clear priorities, okay? Make a list of your most important tasks, your most important family commitments, and put those into your calendar first. You're going to create the schedule, and you're going to do it by establishing boundaries and openly communicating with your partner, and you're going to do it together. If you are working from home, you're going to establish boundaries by setting designated work zones, a dedicated workspace, and not checking work after your workday's over. Delegate and share responsibilities. Get your kids involved. Get your wife involved. Oh, here's a big one. I should have said this one a long time ago. I haven't said this yet. And this is one of the most powerful. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. Because if you learn to say no more often, you will then be able to say yes to the things you really care about. So decline additional commitments or requests that don't align with your priorities, or if you're already feeling overwhelmed. Don't be afraid to say no. Man, I would highlight that one right now. That is like the number one thing right now as a dad I am struggling with is I just say yes to too many things. I don't know if that's for you, but learn to say no. Decline additional commitments or requests if they don't align with your priorities and if you're already feeling overwhelmed. All right, be flexible, communicate openly, practice self-compassion because we're all in this together. I want you to go to dmdmastermind.com. You'll learn about the mastermind, but one of the things I have there is I have a free gift there for you. I created an ebook. It's fantastic. It's what I sat down and put this together, and it's all about time management. I actually call it the DMD time machine, how you can create more time in your week for what matters most. The DMD time machine. Go to dmdmastermind.com. You can get that DMD time machine right now. It's going to have these tips. It's going to have so many others, things I've learned from my mentors, things I've learned from experience, things I've learned from coaches and books along the way. I just compiled all my best time creation tips, time management tips, all in one place just for you. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. If this is beneficial to you, let me know. I hope you like it. I know it's a quick one. I would like to do more of these quick, 20-minute, 25-minute episodes for you to answer your questions. This came out of a personal thing today. This came out of a question I had with a guy in one of my Fight the Datbot cohorts yesterday. It's all about time management today. So I'm going to respect your time. I'm going to thank you for being here. I appreciate you listening to this podcast. Like it, subscribe. Please leave a comment if you haven't yet. Leave a review. Share this with another dad that you know is going to need some help with time management. All right, my friend, have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of the Dads Making a Difference podcast.